and confuse the enemy. I use my weapon and confuse the enemy. I use my weapon and confuse the enemy.